easy language. And I've been here for about 32 years. And I speak Japanese fluently, write it pretty well. And today's topic is about the key to pronunciation in Japanese language. Now, when you first start learning Japanese, you inevitably have to use Romaji. You can see here it says Romaji, which means Roman characters. And so, if you've ever been to Japan or you even seen a Japanese word written in English, so you can read it, because most people, before they study Japanese, can't read the phonetical hiragana or katakana sets or the Chinese characters. So here it says Romaji in English, and underneath in katakana Romaji, which means Roman characters. Now, that's very useful because we're not going to be able to read the Japanese characters right away, but we want to start learning some words. So, for example, konnichiwa would be Konichiwa, konnichiwa. And then we can learn how to say that word. And then later, at the same time, you'll start learning the hiragana phonetic set, what you can see here. So under the A, there's a character that's written that you read ah. So I'm going to read it from left to right, and you can listen and repeat after me if you like. A, I, U, E, O. That's how you read those hiragana at the bottom, but when you're first learning, that's how you have to read the English characters. Now, the trap is many English speakers from other countries too, not just America, but England and Australia, and even people in European countries like who speak Spanish or French or Italian might read these characters different. Americans often will say the A sound is ah, like apple, but sometimes that'll make the word completely understandable. Now, the next character set uses the same exact vowel sounds, but with a K. So I'll read those. Ka, ki, ku, ke, ko. I'm going to stop for a moment here to make sure my live stream is going to all of the places. Again, we'd started this at 11:30, but had some audio difficulties, and now it should be going quite well. I hope. Okay, so now everybody's online, and here we go. All right, so next you put on the K, and we'll read it again. Ka, ki, ku, ke, ko. So you want to remember that these never change. The A, I, U, E, O is always A, I, U, E, O. The problem is, out of habit, we might read the A as A, or the U as like umbrella, or sometimes the E, people will just say E, and the O, some people will say like dog. So let's take a look at an example. Here we have the city of Osaka, and actually that should have a bar over the O saying Osaka, which is the hiragana below, and below that is the Chinese kanji. The first character means big, and that's O. And then Saka actually means hill, so it means big hill, but it's the major city in the western part of Japan. It's second largest to Tokyo, and it's in the Kansai area where I am. Now, one time I had a teacher working for me, and I asked him, well, what are you doing tonight? And he said, oh, yeah, I'm going to Osaka. And I said, Osaka? And I thought, well, in Tokyo, they have a Akasaka. And I thought, you're going to Tokyo? And he goes, no, Osaka, Umeda. Well, Umeda is the major downtown part of Osaka. And I said, oh, you mean Osaka? And he said, yeah, Osaka. Okay, so it was completely I couldn't understand what he wanted to say. And I think part of it is the word beginning with the O, like octopus or October. He just wanted to say and then the A in the middle, he was saying the sound. It's Osaka, okay? So let's take another look at where you could make a big major mistake. Now, this word SU is su. A lot of English speakers might want to pronounce this sa, all right? Like supper or something. It's su, wa, ru. Now below you can see for the kanji, the Chinese character, the first part of it is su wa, and then the end of verb, this is a verb to sit, at the end is ru. And many of the Japanese verbs end with the ru. So it's su wa ru. Okay? Now there's another word in Japanese that's almost the same as this, and it's S-A-W-A-R-U. It's sa wa ru. And it means touch. So again, one time I got on a train, and the thing is, I was reading hiragana and katakana and Chinese characters, but I think somewhere in the back of my head, when I would speak the words and trying to remember them, I would remember the Romaji, the English letters, and I was picturing S-U-W-A-R. And a woman was sitting on the train, and right next to her was an open spot, but it wasn't very much. And just to be polite, I wanted to ask, is it okay if I sit here? So you change the end of the verb and say, suwa temo ii desu ka? Suwa temo ii desu ka? Temo ii desu ka means may I or can I with a verb. And so I pointed to the open space, but kind of towards her. And I said, koko ni, which means here, koko ni sawatte ii desu ka? Thinking SU in my mind, sawatte ii desu ka? And I accidentally said to her, may I touch here? So, of course, she gave me a shocked look, put her bags in the space and said, no, it's taken. And I thought she was being rude, but later I realized what I'd said. So this is right from the beginning. You want to just be conscious of these vowels that a, I, U, E, O never changes. Now I'll give you one more hint that will really help your Japanese. You can see here, suwaru, the last one is R. So most English speakers will say suwaru. Well, actually, a long time ago, the Portuguese first introduced these Roman characters to Japan, and they made the first dictionary so foreign people could read the Japanese words or learn Japanese words. And I think in Portuguese and Spanish, they have one or two or three different R types of pronunciations, the kind of the rolling tongue, ra. And they chose R. There's a Japanese set called la, li, lu, le, lo. And it's used, they use an R, but really just use the L. Now, if you look it up on the internet or textbooks to actually give you a more detailed explanation, it's between the R and between the L. But for now, if you just use the L sound instead, it sounds much more like the correct Japanese pronunciation than saying with the R. And we can see that in a lot of people know some basic Japanese words like sayonara, and they'll say sayonara. Or teriyaki, they'll say teriyaki. But it's completely different. So just remember these 5 vowel sounds, and that the la, li, lu, le, lo is not really R, it's a L, and your Japanese pronunciation will be off to a great start, okay? So here I'm going to put in all of our links. The first one is to our home page, so if you want to come there to the website, you can register for free, and you can have a free online lesson with me for Japanese, or for English speakers. I also teach English, of course. Please, please, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and because I'll be doing more of these live streaming for Japanese language and for English language. And of course, we have Facebook and Line and other apps you can go check out. So again, thanks a lot. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I hope you have a nice day, and good luck with your Japanese studies.